Hi babies, hi cuties, hi darlings, hi sweets. How are you? I hope this video finds you well. This is a general message, so take what resonates, leave the rest. Please use your own discernment and intuition. Whenever you find it, it is the right time, because it is also timeless, okay? Okay, babe? I will never reach out to you for personal readings because I'm not doing them. And, you know, I'd never do that anyway. So, please report those people, okay? Oh, also my only platform is YouTube. Just so you know. Okay. All right. Let's get into it, shall we? I love you so much. You are all so wonderful. You are just so amazing and fantastic and wonderful. Okay, babes? Yes. Sorry, I'm just unlocking my computer real quick. Okay. I swear, my voice was fine until I got on. So we'll see what happens, okay? I love you so much. Thank you for being here. All right, what's up with it? So the first thing I'm getting here is just because we had the charity card and judgment in reverse that fell out earlier. I just noted it. And then now we have the page of discs in reverse with the water bearer in reverse. And interestingly, we have the star in reverse. So this deck has like, it has like extra cards. And so we both have both Aquarius cards here with the page of discs in reverse. With this page of discs in reverse, because that judgment with the charity card that came out is maybe not realizing how abundant you are and not sharing that abundance with others because you think like, oh, I don't have very much to give. But giving is what, helps that flow. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to give your money, but it could just be like there needs to be time given, tasks, your physical body, like doing a laborious thing for somebody, something like that. Because there's this obsession with that little rabbit here, this obsession with creation and it's like fertilizing something. Like, I want all this abundance. I want this to keep going. I want this bigger and better. It's like over fertilizing a plant or something at some point. You're just dumping so much energy into it, and it can only grow so much. And so there's this focus on, oh, I need to make more, have more, cultivate more. But there has to be a flow. There's also other energy that needs to be put out. There needs to be an exchange. I'm being called to look up the shadow side of Aquarius. Shadow aspects of Aquarius. I mean, for one, me just having a lot of Aquarius in my life is the God complex, or being the smartest person in the room from their perspective and needing to flex that. Let's see what I can pull up here. Oh my god, freaking pop-ups, man. I'm also getting like stubborn thinking. Like yeah, for sure. Okay, let's see what's up. The thing about Aquarius is that it really does sit with the gods. Aquarians innately view humanity and all earth-based things the way that otherworldly beings might peer down on this little planet of ours, lovingly while detached from the outcome. With their airy objectivity, innate intellectualism, and their fascination with how to make human systems and societies more progressive, these people can be deeply compassionate, empathetic, and care very deeply for a large group of people and the friends they may have chosen to call their own. At their best, they combine the visionary qualities of Uranus with the realistic qualities of Saturn. Let's see. Those are the good qualities. When they're shadow, when they're they often have tremendous issues in one-to-one relationships. As the third and final air sign of the zodiac, Aquarius has high-minded and lofty ideals about how they think life, love, and relationships should be, associated with the 11th house of groups. Aquarius often finds their family in causes they choose to champion. They might find someone to date in one of these groups, but they run the risk of choosing someone who represents more of an ideal than someone with whom they might have real emotional compatibility. Relationships go fine for Aquarius until things get real, because they have to actually deal with the reality of emotions. Okay. Of course, they've heard of such things, but actually witnessing them from another person can range from being mildly distressing to utterly horrifying. What about their own emotions, you ask? Well, they tend to treat them as a problem to be managed. As opposed to feelings that need to be acknowledged and then felt, their natural inclination is to keep themselves apart, acting more like a celestial being who is for the first time in a millennia walking around amidst mere mortals. After a while, the whole relationship thing begins to intrigue them as another experiment to try. They love a good human experiment, and thus they find themselves having to engage in ways they never did before. Relationships with Aquarius have to unfold slowly simply because they're incredibly gun-shy about the loss of autonomy and the emotional entanglement that can come from monogamous couplings. Many of them, especially in their shadow state, will bolt after things become too real. If these Aquarians do choose to stay, it's often because it fits an ideal of being the right thing to do. But what might happen is that instead of engaging, they detach instead. They prefer to observe rather than engage because it can become too messy for their tastes. But trying to be in a relationship with this kind of Aquarius can be incredibly lonely. The emotional detachment they tend towards can feel very cold and aloof, leaving little room for type of warmth that most other crave in close relationship. Okay, so what I'm getting from here is like, you're like, oh yeah, abundance, like all that shit, but there's this detachment from the work that needs to get put into that. Like, oh shit. Oh, I have to grind for that. And what I'm seeing here with this being brought up in this way is emotional undoing, thinking patterns undoing, because I originally got that stubborn thinking that my way of thinking is simply the best. And we have the Chariot. With the Chariot at the bottom of the deck. Oh, it's getting hairy now. We had control. So thinking that you can just control the shit out of this, like, oh, if I work this way, my way of being and thinking is the best. There's some undoing that needs to be done. Lack mentality, emotions attached to abundance and generosity and flow. So like maybe you did finally get to this point where you manifested your abundance, but now you're just like clinging to it, or you're feeling stagnant. And then there's this lack mentality that creeps in. You're in fact doing very well, but it's that lack mentality still creeping in and finding its way to cloud your vision, cloud, you know, that gratitude, that true observation, and seeing it for what it is. And so you're constantly falling or chasing this abundance, this feeling, or whatever it is, only to be, you're like, what the hell? I thought I was abundant. Like, I need more. I need there. It's another level of undoing that needs to be healed. We have the Centaur. So that's our Sagittarius card. What? Oh, bitch. I don't know what the fuck is happening. I want you to witness this. I fucking shuffled that shit, and we have the Temperance card, which is also the Sagittarius card. Ooh, okay. All right. Let's say you have this ideal of abundance, or even going into this where I was spoke upon relationships and things. Work comes into that. There has to be some undoing. If you, my left ear is ringing like crazy. Oh, wow, that's very interesting. I'm very intrigued. And it's interesting. The Centaur is pointing its arrow at the water bearer. So I'm kind of, which is in reverse. Let's see if you can see that. So that little Centaur is pointing its arrow right at the water bearer. In reverse. Shit. I'm like not like literally I came into this with like, oh, can it be like a good reading for what? Like I feel like I'm dragging the shit out of you. I guess it's necessary. I don't know. So I'm getting here with that Page of Discs in reverse. The Page of Discs, the Page of Pentacles is like the little student, the scholar. And it being in reverse is like, oh, I don't need to fucking learn anything anymore. Like, I got it. Like, my way of thinking is the best. But here's the thing. You're not realizing that there's, like, some sort of rigidity or expired code, expired perspective that isn't, it's literally, like, you're doing all the right things. Like, you're putting all the things in the right place. Like, you're building it, but there's something still wrong. Like you can't completely get there or feel that abundance or feel that love of this manifested relationship that you have, because it's like there's still some sort of what was it? Was it Breaking Bad, or the he like spazzes out because there was a fly when he was like making meth or something. Like it's like that. Like there's still something flying around that can contaminate what you're trying to make, what you're trying to build. And let's like I'm literally getting, especially with that coming up, I didn't expect that to talk about relationships and emotions. So it's like you manifested this they can be dense this way. Let's see here. The superior Aquarius, others are beneath them because they waste their time on such trivial things as human emotions or relationships. If they just be like me and communicate calmly, rationally, and clearly, then we wouldn't have to be having this problem. Aquarius thinks to themselves. They can be dense in this way. After all, you weren't asking them for some highbrow intellectual advice, but merely venting about something that has you emotionally in a twist. Trying to explain this to them can feel like a fool's errand because, like any of their other fixed signs, Aquarius is fixed air, there will be no changing their minds until it's their idea to do so. Yeah, there's that God complex, that stubbornness. And the crazy thing I'm getting here is it's no shit. Man, I really didn't want to be here to drag you, like legit. I just fuck. I'm getting it's like you're not even aware that this rigid ass thought or perspective, whatever it is, that fly, that contamination, like you have built this perfect thing. You've manifested the right things. You've done the right moves. You called yourself on some right things, but it's like there's still this contamination in this flying around, and that's existing within you that's causing this rigidity. Man, damn it. I'm so sorry, guys. I totally didn't expect to be like dragging you. I was like, oh my god, let's keep it light and positive. Oh, all right. I guess it was necessary. So there's this, it's crazy because it's like you're not aware that this thinking process, this way of existing is actually inhibiting you. Like you've built this thing, you've strategized, you've done all this thing. Going back to that freaking control thing where I dropped all the cards, it's like as you're this thinking, this existence, this strategizing, this planning, whatever it is gripping further and further on the reins to a point that it's going to fall to shit. That is that, and it's so insidious and unmarked that you're not seeing it. So this stubborn thinking, this, and it's, I'm not meaning like you're coming off that way or anything of the sort. Ben, you cannot fucking make this up. King of Swords. You're being too cold and too strategic, clinical, to where there needs to be, it's almost like this, I need to control my mind. I can will myself away from emotions. I can will myself out of this, but that thing is still lingering in the background. It's like traumas, like just kind of going back to like abundance and shit. There's still that lingering, undealt with lack mentality. You literally have this cornucopia of abundance around you, this plethora of things around you, wonderful people, warm, caring, honest people, you have nice things, whatever it is, you have abundance around you. And there's this rigidity of like what abundance looks like to you, or maybe you're like, well, I want more, I need more, I have this strategy, by now I should be here because I've done the steps. It's like controlling. It's like trying to control your spiritual journey and not letting it, yeah, it's almost like, man, I'm sorry guys, like I really hope this like hits where it needs to, because I totally did not plan on this, but let me take a sip here. It's gotten to a point that there's like some pride intertwined with will, intertwined with intelligence, and knowledge of maybe hermetic spiritual teachings that has turned into a, oh man, it's like you've done all this reading, you've done all this research, you've practiced, and like for an example, like maybe you do like a sweat lodge and then you do your ice baths and you meditate and you've done all this reading and you have a strong will and you've overcome a lot and it's come to a point that you're trying to control your spiritual journey, and these things creep up. Let's say like, oh, I need more abundance, I need this. Instead of recognizing and feeling that gratitude for those things, you aren't seeing that, or you're like, you manifest this relationship and then you get into it and you're like, oh fuck, like why does this person think I need to change? Why are we butting heads? This must not be it then. But in fact, there needs to be some shifts. You manifested this thing, you changed enough, you did enough things to get it into your life, to attract it to be on that level. However, there's still that grind to keep it alive and thriving and growing, because you manifest somebody, oh, I want someone on my level that continues to grow and has spiritual knowledge, and they have a desire to keep being better and undo traumas and all these things. But then it gets messy because they're doing this growth process, and you're meeting these things of growth and all of this, and it's like this control of like, it needs to be like this, I strategize this, I change jobs, I'm growing, and then something comes off kilter because you start to grab on harder to the reins of like that chariot, and that's control. That's trying to control something. There's two beasts on that card. One is white, one is black. And it's depicted often as the two horses going in different directions. There's a dichotomy here. There's a polarization here that it just is. That is part of it. The spiritual journey, this growth, all of this, it's going to be messy. And the more you try to strategize and run away from these things, this is what has protected you this whole entire time, but it's like not been touched because you were almost too smart for your own good. Like and I'm almost getting, it's like you're gripping onto this part of yourself because it has served you so well to will your intelligence, your mind to do these things. However, it's getting to a point that it's blocking your journey now. You cannot move forward until you let the fuck go. You can't use your intelligence to get out of this. You can't will your strategy into this. You'll keep meeting this resistance until you look around and you feel the gratitude. Yeah, I'm definitely getting, it's like you have the knowledge, you've done the research, all of these things, you've read the books, you've gone to the retreats, all of this shit. You've gotten all this knowledge to have control, to shift, to change the energy around you. Yes, you are doing that, but you are meeting this, there's still this contamination. And I'm going to be honest, it's like arrogance and pride. You don't realize it because it's that intelligence, that ego is so smart and good at molding and shifting and all of these things, this rigid perspective, and it's literally shitting on your parade. The exact thing that you're desiring, you are sabotaging with this. Man, I'm sorry guys, but it is just coming out like this for some fucking reason. I guess you needed to hear it, damn it. Yeah, you've done the teaching, you do the meditation, you do all these things, but bro, like you're still feeling this lack of like, you're like, well, where's this like freedom feeling? Where's this happiness feeling? Bro, you have it right there in front of you. However, this damn intelligence stuff, you're so fucking smart. You're so smart, but it's hurting you. Well, I'm abundant. I can feel that. And we have the 5 of discs in reverse, which is very good, with the 10 of discs in reverse. Even better. That's excellent. How do we get there? What needs to be done? Because clearly we've met the issue here. We've met the problem. We've met the contamination. And look, homie is putting his little torch, his little candle. It kind of reminds me of the Mother of Guadalupe, but there is also, here, see how we have the little scales? So it's like getting lost in the logic of like, what's fair? How do I balance this? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, you know the universal laws, yet you're getting caught up in your teachings and the grip and the control. The more you try to control, the more it tumbles, the more intense it gets and worse it gets. You feel that it's like I'm seeing someone trying to stand up in the ocean when they got knocked over by a wave, and they just keep getting knocked over by the wave until you just fucking let it wash you to shore. You're gonna keep getting knocked down. This is like, you're getting taught and shown exactly what you need to do, and you keep getting met with this bullshit because you're trying to control it. You're not letting it push you in the direction you need to go. I have this path. This is the path. And the goal is A to B. Yes, you are able to manifest that stuff. It's worked for you in the past. You've been able to will shit into existence. However, if you keep raising in vibration, the more the karma hits quicker. The more you feel the pressure of something you're not supposed to be doing. You're off the path. And that's because your ego mind, your intelligence, your little 3D self is thinking, oh, well, I need this. It needs to be exactly like this. And that is going back to this wound, this insecurity that you face in childhood or past lives, whatever it is. Like, let's say going back to that abundance thing where maybe you grew up poor and you didn't have that. Like, you had to go with your parents to go beg for food or whatever it was. Like, you went hungry a few nights. There's still that not being met with or recognize that that's still there. And it's like getting hung up on like, oh, well, I know the universal laws, I know what to do, but you're not leaning into that faith part that it's like you know all the answers because you've read all the books, you've done all the retreats, you've done all this shit. You're following the signs, but yet there's still this rigidity and needing to know the answer, needing to will it into existence. Maybe you're watching too much tarot. Maybe you're just over and over, maybe you keep asking for the same thing every time you pray, and you're putting too much energy into it to where it's like desperation, and that you're going against that universal law. Like, that desperation is, yes. And we have the Eight of Pentacles upright. There still needs to be work here. You're manifesting this is coming, but there's still a grind. There's still a hustle to this. You have all the answers. Like, you've done all the teachings and the readings, all that. And look, that chick is the same chick. She's looking over him. There's still that spiritual work that needs to be done in the material world. Yes, you're manifesting all of this. You have that in the back of your mind, but there's also these 3D things that still exist, like your emotions and traumas and stuff that needs to be dealt with. That still comes up. That lack mentality, that whatever, rigidity in how this outcome is supposed to look, down to the specifics, has you missing the fact that it's right in front of your face. Has you sabotaging and causing more conflict into this thing that you've prayed for by gripping onto the reins and not allowing it to guide you. Like, this is just, example for the relationship thing. It's like you manifested this exact relationship, whatever, this perfect person for you. In doing so, the universe knows that you have some emotional trauma you have to unpack. Maybe you got mommy issues. Maybe you got daddy issues that need to be unpacked. This person is going to help you with that. They're going to trigger that. And in doing so, they're going to be pushing you to grow. But you feel like it's like you want to hold on to this control. Like they grip to this autonomy, so you're gripping to this autonomy so much that you're detaching and sabotaging something you prayed for, instead of savoring it and enjoying it and being in that moment. Earlier when we had the 10 of Cups popping up, man, we got all these pentacles. So this is definitely 3D related. You are creating a material thing, and it is right fucking in front of you. However, you are sabotaging the shit out of this by a perspective, a contaminated perspective that doesn't serve this timeline anymore. If you want to keep progressing and keep having this dope ass shit happen in your life, there's a contaminated perspective that needs to be exterminated. Three of Cups in reverse. And we have the Centaur here. The shadow side for sure, because for Sagittarius, is avoidance. They will run away from their problems, accountability, all that fun stuff. They like to run away from it. They're the traveler, they're the scholar, the philosopher, but once again, they have all that knowledge, but they're running away from the shit that needs to be dealt with. And that is depression, unhappiness, or even recognizing that you're causing this. It's like you did all this work for this dope ass party, but then you're in a shitty ass mood when it comes to it because you let some guy at the grocery store bother you because they cut in front of you and it just completely ruined your day. So you're in a fucking sour ass mood, ruining your own party that you created and manifested and planned out and strategized and put all this effort and energy into, only to ruin it with your shitty ass attitude. You're not looking around and being grateful for what is right here in front of you. The manifestation is right fucking here. You are abundant as shit. You're smart as shit, but it is punishing you because you're so good at warping and manipulating your feelings and thoughts into avoiding these things that need to be dealt with. AKA, you're creating your sour ass attitude is creating this rift, this tumultuous feeling, the waves crashing you, almost drowning you. You literally have all this dope shit around you. It's still like you have the 10 of discs, right? Which is like this is like the dope shit. This is like the house, the home, the person, the family, everything. Everything you could desire, the job, everything, the money. You have it right here, but it requires the continual work. And that is the spiritual work, the emotional work, the constant mental battle between your heart and your fucking ego. That thing doesn't go away. You can't sit here and be like, oh, I lost everything, that was my ego death. That continues to come up. The ego is smart and I'm about to sneeze. Oh. Exercise those demons right now. You're still battling these fucking demons. This needs to be expelled. There's something still agitating you that you're not looking at. And I'm looking at this sad little kid right here. There's something that happened that you're not even fucking looking at, recognizing. And it's still like haunting you. And this is a constant work. This doesn't go away. The ego is so good at molding and manipulating and all that. And then you add knowledge to it. Then you add this intellect and will to it. And it becomes a problem. It's you're your own villain in your story. You're your own, like, what is it? The mad scientist villain guy. Like, you're that guy in your story right now because you're so smart and your will is so strong and you've done all this research and collected and done the work and the retreats and the learning and you've lost everything and overcame it. You've done all this dope shit. But it's like you forget that this is still a constant. This doesn't stop. And you're going to be challenged with these thought forms and the way of existence constantly. The partner you manifested is going to challenge you and your thinking. If you want it to, that's funny that I say that and this pops up with the Two of Cups right here. That's the relationship card. Oh, my darling, I sweet. It's like yes, this person does love you unconditionally, but they also see your fucking flaws and you're like, dude, you're your own villain right now. This thinking is putting you straight in the grave. This is putting you in a shitty ass mood, dude. Like, you've manifested everything perfectly as it is, but there's some tainted, contaminated thinking that is still in existence from childhood or whatever whatever problem you had in your existence so thus far, even lifetimes ago, whatever, it's still there. and it isn't being looked at because you're so smart and the ego's so smart. It's just constantly like, oh, well, it's like a really good lawyer. They can move some words around and thoughts and stuff around and make you the bad guy if you did nothing. Like, you're your own, like, greasy lawyer right now. Like, your dope ass intelligence and research and knowledge of, these ancient teachings and your intuition and all of that, it's so smart and good that you've turned this strong will into, and your strong mind that cannot be manipulated, you've also turned this against yourself to a point that you have your mind and all these strengths, these dope ass things about you, you've turned that into sorry, I gotta take a drink. You've turned that into your own greasy lawyer, like, for your ego, for this problem, this villain in your own story. You are protecting that, sabotaging part of yourself in doing so. And it's only going to you're going to keep meeting this the further you go. Your thinking, your experiences, all of this is going to be challenged the further you go into this. We have the Queen of Swords. She uses her intuition. Looking at this card, she has a severed fucking head at her feet. There is a part of you that has to be snuffed out. It has to be let go, or you cannot keep jumping timelines. You cannot live and have this timeline where there's all this great stuff. There's a thought form that needs to be challenged. And that is this part of your ego, this thinking, this contaminated perspective has to go. Look how, like, you're gonna feel so fucking good as soon as you swallow your damn pride and punch it out with your ego. But this ego makes you think that this is the only way, and you're like, oh, I'm being met with resistance, all of this shit. Like, fuck. You're being your own villain right now. And it's this fucking guy right here that needs to go. You gotta cut the head off this. It's too many. We have the Gemini card at the bottom of the deck in reverse. Yeah, it's almost like you're able to twist these things, and your knowing and your knowledge and this research, and you're just such a strong-willed, strong-minded person that you can twist this shit into however you want to feel comfortable, to not execute this part of yourself, to not dissolve, kill off, whatever you want to call it, this part of your thinking, this part of your mind, this part of your ego, whatever you want to call it. It has served you to a point, but it has to go unless you want to keep meeting this bullshit. Unless you want to keep getting knocked down by the waves every now and again, that's fine. If you're cool with that, keep doing that. Keep it, no one's stopping you. However, if you're really just not having a good fucking time with that Three of Cups in reverse, it's that old meme, that old video of this dude like, bro, straight up not having a good time. Like, that is you. You're straight up not having a good time because you're clinging to this. Your ego, your pride, all of that shit. And I don't mean this in any sort of negative way. We all have that. If you're in the 3D body, you fucking have that, and it's going to continue to be there. However, this can be taken care of, and you could start having a good time. If you quit using all of this knowledge and all of this stuff that you've read all these books, you've experienced all these things, I've overcome loss, I've overcome lack, no, you haven't. Yes, you have, and no, you haven't. There's the two parts of this. This exists, but also this exists at the same time. They're contradictory. And it keeps getting murkier and murkier as you go, because you can't grip onto these old thinking. Yes, and this also exists. It's like two things that are contradictory are existing at the same time. And it keeps getting that way. And the further you cling on to this thinking of, oh, this can't exist, so this has to exist, like that, if this is true, then that can't be true. Things can all be true. So, and we have the vision card in reverse. Like this homie is, protecting a gate to the beyond. And since you're not willing to let this down of like, this can be true, this messiness, this discomfort, all of this shit that's happening doesn't mean bad. And whatever you're experiencing, that part of yourself has to go, this rigid thinking. Or no one is telling you, like, if you're cool with wherever the fuck you are right now and you don't want to keep growing, then no one's telling you to do otherwise. That is completely acceptable. All you gotta do is be however the fuck you want to be. However, if you want to keep growing and keep having certain experiences and all of that, it's like you've drank from the well of knowledge. Your eyes have been opened. There's no turning back. You might as well just like keep going, right? If you're in that, if you're feeling that, then this part of you has to be no longer deceased, let go of, deleted. And yes, the remnants of it will still exist. But recognizing like, oh, I don't have to attach to this thinking anymore. I have thought this way. I have had that black and white thinking, or I have had this blah, 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 whatever it is that you've attached to, and it served you very well. But at this point, this no longer serves you. You are starting to have an adverse reaction to it. And it is no longer fun. And this, see how smitten she is. She's all like cool and like, fuck yeah. Like, all right, let's see what happens. Curiosity. Recognizing that it's the fool's journey every single time. You start as a learner you never stop learning. You are still a fool. Yes, you have knowledge from experiences. Yes, you've overcome this, but there is constant learning. This experience. So yes, let's say you become a master at what your job is. Let's say you're a journeyman electrician or a master electrician, whatever you want to say. There's still learning that needs to happen because, technology is constantly shifting. If you were a master electrician 20 years ago and quit learning, things have changed drastically since then to now. There has to be this yes, because you're a master and you passed these certain tests and all of that, you are still expected to learn. You can choose not to, but your life gets more and more resistant. You feel more resistance. You feel more out of control. As soon as you accept that you're not in control, there's this way of thinking, that you can have all this knowledge and have all these tools to create your, like, you can literally move and morph and manipulate energy. You can have that, but also you are at the will of the universal energy. That is in control too. And certain things need to happen. So your willingness to accept that both of these things happen, both of these things exist. Yes, you are in control, but so is the universal energy. So is God. And certain things will need to happen. And the more you control, the more the waves will try to knock your bitch ass down. Yeah, we got the 6 of Wands, and that's like pride. So what's driving you to manifest these things? What would really make you happy? Is this really would make you happy, or is it just how you would be seen? And that's falling on this Temperance card. Because I've met a lot of Sagittarians that they, in their ego, they have this like grand, like exaggerating storytelling, like gregarious presence, and they're trying to be mysterious, it's like the Walter Mitty, I don't remember the something life of Walter Mitty, but this guy in there, he's like this mysterious, like photographer, it's like they have this like braggy, like, yeah, I've been here, I've been there, I've read this book, and it's like this braggy, like needing to be seen a certain way. And that's like the shadow side. Like, that's great. Like, Sagittarians do like get a lot of knowledge, especially through their traveling and experiences and their teachings and their because they are like scholars, their search for truth and stuff like that. There's a good that comes out of that. But in the shadow side, they like to be seen as this certain image, and they run away from accountability and shit like that. So it's like there's this pride that's keeping you for what would you actually be happy with? What does truly abundance look like for you? Is it the fucking car that you want? Is it that? Would that really make you happy? Or is it just because you would be seen a certain way? What is true abundance to you? What would truly help you experience this 3D life in the best, most rich possible way? It's not a 3D thing. It's a mental thing. All of these experiences, but it's like it gets lost because the ego is like, yeah, I'm gonna manifest this shit like a motherfucker. You are rich already. You are abundant already. It just has to be a looking around. We have the serpent bearer in reverse. To me, this is just making me think of like Pentecostal like snake handling venomous snakes as a way to prove their faith. But a lot of people, they will get bit and die, and it's because they're actually not living that faith. There's still this doubt, there's still this, but they want to be seen as this fearful there's still this wound, there's still this insidious thing within them that needs to be seen, their pride, whatever it is, as like, yeah, I'm diehard, I'm this, I'm that, I've submitted to this relationship or this religion or whatever it is, this community, like I'm diehard for it. However, that being seen in that way and actually living it and being in that faith are two different things. The desire to want it and actually be it are different things. Okay, so this fell on our King of Swords. Yeah, dude. Oh, man. This is the Death card. And once again, we have the severed heads. Yeah, this King of Swords needs to die. I'm just going to be real with you. This King of Swords, that thinking, this rigid thinking, this intellectualizing it, this like, well, I've read this book and I've done this. At some point, yes, it is good to have all this knowledge and you've had these experiences, but you are still the student. And there's this rigid thinking of like, oh, okay, this wanting to manifest a certain thing, and then not seeing that you are abundant right now. Is literally blocking everything. You are manifesting this stuff, you are bringing it in, you've done all the attracting and all of this. However, this rigid thinking, this poisoned perspective, this contaminated perspective, this expired perspective is no longer serving you. And it needs to go. It needs to dissolve, decease, decay, decompose. And with that, we have the daisy raising out of that. That truly brings this purity, this innocence, this joy, this true joy. Not, oh, I'm driving this car and it's mine. Yes, people are looking at me. Like, and I'm not saying, like, you may have gotten past that point, but there's still that within you. What's really driving you? I want to prove these people wrong. I want this, I want that. But it's for something outside of yourself. What would actually make you happy? What is true joy, richness in life? Yeah, Four of Cups in reverse. And that is seeing things exactly for what they are. And that is looking around you. See how homie's ignoring that, like, inspiration? that's being handed to him through that window, had he just looked, instead of looking at his canvas, he should have looked around him, lifted his head up and looked around. Instead of like that tunnel vision, this strategy, this A to B plan, I need to be making millions right now. That's what true abundance and happiness looks like to me. I'll be driving that freaking Lambo, you know, whatever it is. But that is not, you're missing what richness and abundance is in your life right now. And that's some foolish energy. And so coming back to the good side of the Fool is being willing and accept, like, you know, it's like kids, they find like this most simple shit like exciting. They're like, oh man, I found a stick, fuck yeah. Go back to that and really living in that present moment instead of letting some fucking dickhead that cut you off in the line at the grocery store ruin your whole damn day, and then in turn ruin this party that you've worked so hard for. And we have the Ram, so that's Aries in reverse. So that's stubbornness. That's hard-headedness. The High Priestess in reverse. So you have all this knowledge and like have created all this shit. You have the keys in your hand, but it's like start living it. Start actually like living it to what you... It's like you're so caught up in like collecting all this knowledge and being rigid in this A to B thing, your strategy, your plan, all this stuff, which this is literally that thought process, that perspective. So part of that is that perspective. And that is blocking you from this even further knowledge and understanding. She's all hung up on the fucking physical book and that physical knowledge. And this is blocking you from all this dope ass shit right now. Yeah, the wheel. This is the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. It's time to break the cycle. And that fell right on that Sagittarius, the Temperance card, and the Six of Wands. It's time to break that cycle of like, oh, I need to be seen like this. I need to be... What is the true drive behind this abundance, this desire? To collect these things, to have this stuff. What is true joy? What is true unconditional love? All of these things. You are rich and living a rich life already, but there's that not lifting your head and looking around because it's like, well, fuck, I gotta make a painting by 3 o'clock. Well, sometimes looking around and following that intuition instead of letting that damn King of Swords, like my strategy is like, I need to fucking grind right now. It's funny. It's like this Eight of Disc is like the work. However, it's the different kind of work that you're thinking. Yes, you need to hustle. Yes, you need to grind. The work, physical labor needs to be done still. But there's this thought process of like, oh, I need to grind. I need to do this. And you're not letting these distractions, which are literally blessings and inspiration from the universe, to let you get, oh, I need to have this little moment of joy, this little whatever the fuck experience, this little quote unquote distraction, you know, taking a path, you know, taking the long way or whatever, getting pulled off your path. That is necessary, and your intuition is guiding you, but you're so hung up on the A to B like strategy of like, what is this I needs to be, I'm clinging to this, fuck, like that is blocking you from like, if homie just put his fucking face to the left and looked at, or whatever direction that is, and looked over at the window, like he would have had like so much inspiration just from that moment, and he would have been done with the painting by 1 p.m. instead of 3 p.m. And we have the Scorpio card at the bottom of the deck with the freaking Death card out here, which that is the Scorpio card. That King of Swords needs to die. This way of thinking, this rigid, so you're so hung up on this manifestation and, you know, these goals like that, you're not allowing these little distractions or paths that pull you off your main path, quote unquote. But really, that is the path. This rigidity is fucking your life up. It's making you so unhappy and grumpy to where you're not even seeing all this. Like, dude, you're a fucking magician. You have created you have created so much dope shit, and you have it right here, but it's like this thinking, this perspective, this rigidity, this strategy is literally blocking you from the magic of life. Your experience right now. You are fucking abundant right now. You gotta let this die. And it's not gonna be pretty. Yeah, Two of Cups, especially in relationships. You fucking manifested somebody that is meant to push you, and like they are the perfect match for you. However, it's going to feel turbulent and all of this shit because you have this, oh, it needs to look just like this. No, the universe is very smart. God is very smart. They are the highest creator. And they know exactly what the fuck you need. You ask for somebody to push you and wants to grow more and love you and unconditionally and push you and make you be a better person, and you do the same for them. Well, it's not going to look just as your little ego 3D mind made it to be. There's this rigidity, and it's literally causing turbulence. You are literally pissing on your own parade. You are your own villain in this story. And bitch, I'm gonna stop right there. And that's the fucking truth. The Ace of Swords. It's not pretty. And growth isn't pretty. Your path is going to look messy. The more you try to get back on the path or whatever the fuck it is that you're like trying to manifest, and you're like, this is the path. That thinking right there is making you unhappy. And it's actually stopping your growth. And it's halting everything because you're like not allowing these little side streets and whatever to guide you to where you need to go, the people you need to meet, these dope ass little warm moments of experience, or, you know, problems to solve, whatever it is. You're halting the growth. You're halting your path because there's that rigidity. I'm just gonna be real, like, this is gonna piss some of y'all all the way off. If you've made it this far, clearly, like, you're ready for this, because I guarantee a bunch of people clicked off just all pissed off, like, this bitch don't even know. Hanged Man. And this just requires a whole new perspective. It's not pretty. Death is not pretty. Decay is ugly. There's all these little growth. It's stinky. Bugs are all over. It's creepy. It's gross. It's not a beautiful thing. However, you could see it as a beautiful thing. Like, people think, you know, our little vulture, it's an ugly creature. It's gross. It makes the earth pretty. It helps get rid of all this carrion and gross decaying flesh. Like, it does its job. It's the trash man. Otherwise, that shit would just be everywhere. It's doing the job. The creator, the universe, has created this creature to do its job, and it's doing it very well. Damn. And it's time to shift that perspective. Damn. Yeah, this totally is pissing somebody off. My throat's all tightening up. It's like somebody's like, fuck you, you don't have to fuck your time. And they're not ready to hear that. That thinking, that rigid thinking, is still there. Still there. And that ego, I need to be seen as the best, and I need to prove people wrong and all that stuff. That's what's stopping this. And check it out. On this Wheel of Fortune, the same dude that's on our little Hanged Man is right there. and he's flipped. It's time for a new perspective. And this Wheel of Fortune in reverse was over that Temperance and Six of Wands, which is that like egotistical needing to be seen some way. I'm pure and I have pure intentions. Yeah, you want to be good. We all do. However, there's some thinking that's super fucking controlling and wants to feel in control, and you have all this knowledge, and your ego is essentially being a greasy lawyer, and a good lawyer, I should say, because they're able to twist this and get you out of some shit, out of actually taking accountability. However, if you want to be happy, there has to be some accountability. Oh fuck, I was a fool, or I need to change this perspective. This part needs to go away. It's expired, it's contaminated, and things can't grow until it's gone or taken care of, however you want to see it. It's like, man, this place smells like mouse piss. Maybe you should get an exterminator to, set out mouse traps and then keep checking on it until they're gone. And that's going to take time. And then the cleaning process. So it's not just a day and night thing. Like, it's not going to be overnight that you're going to be able to get rid of this thinking. It's going to take some grinding, some hustling. But that will fucking free the living shit out of you. All right, babies. Anything else before I go? All this talk about the Fool, and here we go. The Fool came out. And you see how much I have of the deck still. I love it. The Fool in reverse. And that's this unwillingness to take this leap of faith of like, ooh, maybe this thinking is no longer serving me. And here's the thing, like, you are very intelligent, you have all this knowledge, you've overcome so much shit, and this has served you well up until this point. But if you're wanting to go any further, this leap of faith has to happen, and letting go of this part of yourself needs to go. This black and white thinking, this rigid perspective needs to go. It's no longer. This can't continue. Because you may actually end up shitting on the stuff that you have right now, which is that Two of Cups, that soulmate energy, that these connections that are truly God blessed. Like, they are God given. They are God's gift to you. And this unwillingness will actually dissolve this and contaminate this to a point that it turns karmic. It turns toxic. It's like, you throwing away a gift that was meant for you and just meant to make your life better. But it's like this rigid thinking is, you're not going to see that the universal energy, the God, whatever, the creator, is smarter than you and knows what you actually need. And that this was this is the gift you needed. And I know that later on, if you're unable to see into the future, that this is going to serve you. This person is going to serve you. This is what you need. This is what you asked for, and I know what you need. So this is both. Yeah, this definitely pissed somebody off because my throat's all tightened up. Good. All right, babies, I love you so much. I hope you have a wonderful, amazing life and continue to grow. And I pray that this transition of letting things go isn't too painful, and you have utter freedom once you do this. So I pray for you, and I send you love and just strength during this time. I love you, babes. Bye.